Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode number 21 of the Young and the Rowdies. And it is always an honor when we get a chance to bring a returning guest to the show. But before we get into that, of course, I'm Patric Young. I'm the host of the Young and the Rowdies. Thank you to everyone that's been staying tuned. We've been bringing you content of Florida basketball and many other things the entire season. It's been a whirlwind of a season across the SEC. If you guys haven't been staying tuned, this is the deepest this league has been in a long time. Hopeful that 8 teams will make the tournament this year, but I want to give a shout out to the Field of 68 Media Network for allowing me this opportunity and this privilege, getting a chance to connect with the fans, with the players, with the coaches. And I'm excited. I was thinking of what kind of analogy to use to introduce this guest. And I was thinking of an engine of a car. That might be a little too much because you literally can go nowhere without an engine. But the team, without his presence, they still have been going, still have been moving, players developing in this time. But it is very noticeable when his presence was not on the court and completely changing when he does bring back, because he is just a force from what he brings on both sides of the court. Not sure engine's not the right piece, but he is the heart and soul of this team because he is just the passionate, skilled, dominant, and just does all those great things for this team. And I'm so happy to have back on the show for a second time, the one and only big man in the paint, number 12, Colin Castleton. C, what's going on?
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, man. I think last time I had you on, I don't know if I had really had a chance to really hear your story and being a Florida kid that went up to Michigan and you telling me just the process there, and I was like, man, I'm a fan of this guy for life, especially now where the transfer portal is something that it's at another level. I think last year 1,500 kids entered the transfer portal, and it's pretty big. What do you think about the trend, in this sense of where it is now? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's crazy, being in college when it wasn't as prevalent compared to now. My freshman year, sophomore year, transfer portal wasn't as big. To be honest, I think when COVID hit is when it really started spiraling. It was just going crazy. And it's just ever since then, it's just been wild being able to just see, it's funny because you watch games and you're sometimes you're I didn't even know he was on that team.
Right?
Basketball, a lot of kids, players. Mostly the SEC is what I keep up with the most, obviously, because I'm in the league. But other schools, I obviously know a lot of players that are in college basketball just because social media, just being around the sport. It's dang, I didn't even know he's on that team. But everybody got that extra year. Everybody got that free year. So people were just jumping around like it was nothing. It was there. Everybody, it was like AAU basketball, really.
Yeah.
AAU, you got one weekend you're with 5 kids, the next weekend you got 3 new kids, and you're just what's going on? So that's kind of how the transfer portal started. But then now I think the way coaches are utilizing it, it's an advantage. A lot of guys coming out of high school may not be ready to impact the game right away. Yeah. And just being able to go to that transfer portal, you can just pick up a guy who's already seasoned, I guess, and knows the game of basketball. So it helps.
Yeah.
Obviously on a team, the structure of your team, but I think there's definitely both good and bad of it. But
yeah, I don't know if there's ever going to be the chaos of the transfer portal. That's probably going to be the normalcy. I don't know if it's, of course, the first year of having so many kids enter it, because there's 2 sides to it. And I think I tweeted about it the other day. It's there are the kids you went to the place you thought was right for you up in Michigan, great program. And you could have easily been oh man, I'm not playing. I want to go somewhere right away. But no, you're you know what? Let me weather the storm. Let me get better, see all the things that I need to do to improve. Let's not waste this year and lose it. Let me improve my game. Let me be a good teammate and not be a sponge. Stuck through it for 2 years, and you're you know what? I think, I miss my family. I want to be close to the family so they can come to more games. And I think it's just a better suited opportunity for me somewhere else. And that sounds that's awesome. But then you have sometimes, and I'm not saying other kids' situations are better or worse, but sometimes, you want kids to understand in life, hey, you got to weather the storm in situations you don't like sometimes to get to where, because the season you're in might be training you and teaching you something later for life. Because let me tell you, bro, I'm in the corporate world now, and I've come to understand a lot of people don't like their jobs. And guess what? They stay in it, and they kind of have to, but there's a due diligence. But I get it as well. Some kids, they do need fresh starts. They do need, they had a dream, and it was a dream school, and it just didn't work out, and they need to go to a better place, or they got tired of losing. They want to win. There's so many layers to it. It's just like you said, you'll blink your eye and you're like, dang, I didn't know he was on that team. I didn't know this was going on over there. But that's what kind of with college basketball anyway, it's always kind of exciting because it's kids always like kind of making a name for themselves that you don't know. Fans are more loyal to a program than they are particular players in general. But yeah, I think it's crazy, man. I can't even imagine the experience for you in this case. But shoot, like how are you feeling? How's it going? How has your second year being back in Florida, playing, obviously dealing with some injuries with your shoulder, but overall, man, deciding to come back, what's your perspective on everything so far for you?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously I know like most likely my last year and stuff, so I've had like a little bit of a different approach than last year. Last year was obviously my first year like transferring, so I was kind of feeling everything out, like trying to figure out, where I fit in, where I didn't fit in, because it felt really weird to me. Like I obviously, like we talked about last year, like it wasn't in my plan to transfer, end up at a new school, like all the new situations that I was put in. But I feel like I learned a lot last year, especially with COVID. Like it was just so weird. Like most dudes that transfer might not transfer into a program while COVID was happening. So maybe it's just to stuff, but like with me, it kind of helped me in a way, I guess, because I was only around my teammates like 24/7. We weren't allowed to go any places because of COVID. Like you had to be really smart with that. So I feel like that helped me like bond well with my teammates, get to know my coaches better. And then obviously we got new assistant coaches. So, but I've been in college a long enough time to like understand just being able to adjust to new people, new teammates, new coaches. So this year I just had a different mindset after going through the process. I know what I need to work on. And then like I just been able to just focus on those things, as well as just being like a leader on this team and doing everything Coach White asked me to do.
Speaking of like hearing and knowing what you needed to work on, after the season last year, you put your name into the draft. And I love that. I wish this would have been an option, because I would have done it, that you can put your name in, get some feedback, see the things you need to work on, and you can still decide. You can say, do I want to still go, or do I want to come back and work on those things? What was that? What was just the whole process like for you and getting the feedback? Because I'm sure your family was involved and everyone, just because you're a sponge, man. Like you want to be great, you want to do whatever it takes. But like, what was it like? Because I never got a chance to do that. So I'm listening as a guy that I wish I could have had that chance as well.
Yeah, it was definitely very cool. I would say it was stressful for sure. Like for the first time, it was definitely stressful. A lot of unknowns. So you kind of just going like with the flow. Like at least at college or like whenever you're doing day-to-day stuff, it's very stressful, obviously in the body and mind, but like what's coming next. Like with the process, like everything was just so, all right, you're heading here. Or like, all right, pick up the phone. You got like I had an NCAA agent was helping me throughout the process, like because it was legally the only way you can do it. But like I worked out for 7 NBA teams, and like it's just plane ride to like Milwaukee, and I was stationed in Vegas, so like all my workouts were in Vegas.
Wow.
I was there for like over close to 2 months, all of May and like all of June before I had to decide. But it's like you work out 2 times a day, morning and night, and weights in between. And it's like if you have a workout in Milwaukee on Tuesday, like you work out in Vegas on Monday twice, fly that night to Milwaukee. Then you have your NBA workout on Tuesday. Then I may have a workout on Thursday. Like for instance, I had a workout 2 times in 1 week. It was Tuesday and Thursday. So like I have to figure out, okay, do I fly back to Vegas for that one night to fly back to Memphis? or do I just go straight from Milwaukee to Memphis? But then it depends on what the team wanted. So like, if it doesn't want you to fly straight there, you got to go back to Vegas, and then you got to fly from Vegas to Memphis. So it's a lot of like coordinating and timing, taking care of your body, because definitely more than mental, like on your body, it takes a toll like when you go through the process. So you got to just eat the right foods.
Yeah.
Just try not to like go anywhere. Like it's all just relaxing, watching a lot of basketball, and then just working out every day. Like that was everything I was doing. That's probably the most like I was like, that was the closest I've ever got to like just basketball was actually my life. Like,
Yeah.
It's like I wasn't like, when guys in the NBA I talk to are like, bro, like whenever you get to this level or play at the next level when basketball is just your life, like it's totally different than when you're in school and stuff. And I was just like, okay.
It is.
I went through a process and like, okay, I actually get that, because it's literally your whole life. Like you don't do anything, no school. I mean, no friends are with you, no family members. It's just focusing on basketball. And I mean, that got me a lot better. So I definitely appreciate it.
And that's especially true when you're like just getting into the league, because you want to stick. You want to make sure that you're going to stay there for as long as you can. When guys get a little bit more established, and they know that they, that's when they kind of, not say relax, but start to, because you can always be a student of other things. You can have other hobbies. You got guys that do video games. Some guys play golf. For me, and I played NBA for a little bit, and I went overseas. Like my best friend for a while, whenever he would come to visit, he would stay with me for like a month or like 2-3 months at a time, and that just made it so much better. Just having somebody I know that I can trust and hold me down, and whatever. So I just wasn't going, because you can go stir crazy, man. Like you literally just like that process of just living, eating, drinking basketball. But it's great for you, man. Like what did you learn about, like, what did you learn about yourself? What was the feat? What was like, do you have any stories from one of your NBA workouts that you're just like, dang, like that was weird, that was cool, that was like harder, that was easier, or I don't know?
I mean, I don't have like a specific story. I would just say like one of the coolest things to me was like, actually it was crazy because like it wasn't basketball related like on the court, but we were in Milwaukee. I had my workout, and we just got into the airport, arrived, they picked me up, we drove to a hotel, and not every team actually, you had to get a COVID test before you did your workout. So we're about to go do our COVID test. And like, I'm not at that level yet. So I still look up to these guys. Like I watch them every day. Like, they still are like stars in my eyes, even though I'm a star at the college level. Like I still look up to these dudes, because until I get there or like play against them, then I'm going to look at them differently, obviously. But like, they're at that level, they're at that highest level. So it's cool to see them play as well as they do. But we're just getting a COVID test. I turn around and Giannis is just sitting right behind me. I'm like, yo, this dude is huge. Like,
was he bigger than you? A little bit taller?
Nah, we're the same height, but like just like he just looked like another level. Like I was just like, dang, man, that's crazy. Like, and like, cause I've always looked up to Giannis and like his story, how he got into the league, and he was like this skinny, frail dude. Like his over the years is probably the craziest development of any player like ever in the NBA. So like just seeing him, I was just like, dang. So I went back to the hotel and I was just thinking like, that's crazy. Like how far he's come and like his development, like just over the years is just crazy. Just to like, I would love to just like sit down with him and just talk to him like what his mindset was. But obviously we didn't have time for that. So I knew they were busy. They were actually down 3-2 to the Nets. That was the night they came back from the loss.
Wow.
Workout. And then they came back and won the series. So they weren't in. I wasn't going to try to bug that. But I mean, if they would have won the series, I probably would have tried to like chop it up with them real quick.
Oh, yeah. Man, you you could have probably, hey, Giannis, tell the team to sign me. Tell them to draft me.
Part of like my workouts. There wasn't really nothing in the actual workouts that really surprised me.
Yeah.
I did all the work we did in Vegas with our trainer. His name's Joe Businar. He works with hundreds and hundreds of draft picks that have come through there over the years at Impact Academy.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was ready for all the workouts. We knew what was going to happen, but that was probably the coolest moment overall.
I mean, speaking of ready, like when you, what made you decide, going through all the process, what made you decide like, hey, I want to come back to school. I want to work on, like you were putting work in, I need another year because, dude, I mean, you were phenomenal last year, and you've been phenomenal this year. But what made you decide like I want to give it one more go here? Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many things: family, working on your game more, wanted to whatever it may be. What made you want to come back? Because obviously, you didn't have to.
Yeah, I feel like just there's a little bit more stuff a little bit more things in my game that I wanted to show, just a little bit more touch, playmaking abilities, like being able to just make reads,
Yeah.
defensive wise, switching out on ball screens, showing that I can guard, like smaller players and guards, that I can move my feet really well. And then just continue to do what I do well on both ends, play hard, run the rim, and just be a presence at the rim as well. But
Block every shot.
yeah, that's the goal. And I'd say getting more strong, just getting my body ready for the next level for another year was definitely going to help me mature more in that stage of my game. And then I just want another year here at Florida too. Like as far as like I feel like we still have more to prove. We're at a really pivotal stretch going down towards the end of the season. We have some really huge games coming up. So this is what I wanted to be a part of, and I'm ready for it. And I think all the guys are ready. We're at a good mentally, we're at a good space where we are as a team, and Coach Weiss is doing all the right things that we need to do. But for me personally, those were probably the biggest things. And yeah, I feel like I've been able to show most of the stuff. The injury obviously hurt a little bit because I was at a really good place on the court as well, and I'm still going to try to continue to do that. I'm not letting that stop me, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, you make that decision to come back, and for all fantastic. And it doesn't, the thing is, the biggest part, that's what you wanted. That was, because, I look back at my time and I'm like, dang, I could have left after I could have left after any other year, but I felt the same way. Like there was unfinished business. I loved my coach. I loved my teammates. I loved the school. I just knew it was never going to be the same. And there's times I'm like, dang, man, life would have been different if I would have left after my sophomore year. I would have got drafted. I would have had this and that. And it's like, but I would have looked back and saying, what if I would have stayed in college longer and had more memories there? And I'm things would they be different? Yes.
Yeah.
Would they be better? There's no telling if life would be better or worse. I made the best decision, and it's crazy because my grandparents, they're Gator fans since the early 90s or whenever they were season ticket holders to the football. They never imagined that their grandson would be playing basketball at the University of Florida. And the fact that they were able to come to games for 4 years and I could share those memories with them, and my parents living in Jacksonville like I wouldn't replace those, being able to cut nets down and going to the Final Four, growing into a man, like being able to create that relationship and all those things, man, like they were priceless. And, you now have an opportunity in doing that as well, especially being like, I'm sure your family appreciates that you're not up in Michigan.
All the games, and they're there every weekend, and during the week. They drive up, it's only 2 hours, so they come up and watch me play most of the games. And it's awesome because they're that support system that I always need, and I always circle. But yeah, I feel like just piggybacking off what you said, like as far as the decision making, like you kind of got to just go with it. You can't really overthink anything. If you do what you want to do, everybody else is not involved in what you decide to do. So you got to be happy with what decisions you make in life, and then you just go with it.
Did you, when coming into the beginning of the season, I mean, you know the work you guys put in the off season, after you decided to come back, did you did the strongman training with everybody?
Back in time for that.
Okay, so after going through all that, putting the work in, you started the season with so much, like in a great way, like swagger, confidence, belief. Is that just because of the work you put in yourself? Is that because of Coach White? Is that your teammates? It just seemed as though, because you already had it to an extent, but it was like another level, and you still have that when you walk on the court. But like, because I want to hit this point on strongly for like the younger listeners that this might come across, of just understanding how preparation breeds confidence.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said it, you nailed it. I think the amount of like work I put in over the summer and just every day doing something for a certain amount of time, you just get to a point where like you don't have any thought of failure like with certain things. You know, like I struggled with that in the past. Like even last year, there was times that's why I was so up and down. And I really like thought about it. I'm like, why was I so up and down? Like there was some games I'll come out and people were like, dang, like it looks like Kareem out there. And then the next game, I just wasn't there, you know, and I feel like for sure, not all players, but for me, it was all mental, like just believing in yourself. Like you can't rely on other people to give you confidence. Like you got to believe in yourself and tell yourself every day when you look in the mirror, like, yeah, like I'm that dude. Like I can put up these numbers, I can produce, I can do what I got to do. And some people look at it as like a cockiness. Like I don't look at it as a cockiness because on the court, I'm a completely different animal than I am off the court. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to be the jungle and lion of the beast when I'm on the court, and off the court, I'll be anything. Like it doesn't matter. I'm two different sides, but I feel like being able to flip that switch is something that a lot of basketball players that are the greats, they all talk about it. They all talk about it. I've watched so many interviews with all the greatest players of all time, and they all talk about the same thing. Like you gotta just flip that switch, and like I finally that out going into this year. And just believing in myself. Like, I don't care if you don't believe in me or this next person doesn't believe in me. Like, I believe in myself. So whatever you see, it just goes in, goes out the other year because I know, like, when I look in the mirror every day when I wake up, I know what I'm capable of.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. Like, before I didn't have that. So I think that just comes with maturity. Some guys get it when they're 18, 17, and some guys grasp it later. I was one to just grasp it later, but I've been able to learn how to use that to my advantage when I'm on the court.
Dude, to be able to grasp that level of confidence because of the work and that belief in yourself, it, you know, the dangerous part about being at that switch and getting into the zone, for some guys, you think about like Jordan and Kobe, it's almost like they never turned the switch off.
Oh,
Like it was always intense. And it's like, yo, man, like that expression of Jordan would push his mom over to win. Like that was
crazy.
That was literally his mindset. But who is Colin Castleton off the court? Because, you know, most fans only see you on the court to see the yelling and the passion and the blocking shots and running up and being excited for your teammates, and when you were out being a great cheerleader and fan and team and like those things. But like outside of basketball, what do people not know about you?
It's funny because a lot of like fans, when I run into them, they're always like, I've never seen you smile before. Like, I've watched Gator basketball for the last like 20 years, but with you, I've just never seen you smile on the court. And that's what I was like saying about the last thing you asked about, like just the switch. That's just how I am. Like when I'm off the court, you'll be seeing me goofy, laughing around, making jokes. I guess everybody knows me as like a funny guy, outgoing in certain ways, but honestly, I just keep it to myself, really. Like, I got a close circle. They know me really well. I'm cool with them. And I guess just like a funny guy, like a goofy person. But when it goes in between those lines, like, it's just a different mentality that I have. Like, I have to do that because I try not to be soft or timid when I step on that court. So I know when to switch it on and off. But off the court, just lay back, chill, hang out with my friends as much as possible, and just try to be as funny and as comedy as possible when I'm with people I'm cool with.
Before we move on, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now is the time because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one play through to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay Instant Approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season tipping off, get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading the Bet Rivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah. Do you have a few friends that aren't basketball players?
Yeah, my close circle, nobody played basketball.
That's
so
awesome.
My close friend group, we all played basketball in high school because I was cool with them. One of them was a manager in college. The other one owns his clothing brand, and a couple other of my friends are for business and stuff. But I have like 4 or 5, 6 really close friends that I keep in touch with like every day, if not every other day. We got a group chat and stuff, but that's really like my circle.
Yeah.
For me, they tell me things that they see, but yeah.
Is your friend that has the t-shirt company, is he the one that helped you make with your t-shirts?
Nah. Actually, the guy that just I'm actually about to drop. This is something nobody really knows about, but before March Madness, hopefully we make it, and I believe we will. We're gonna keep playing well and stuff and get into that tournament. But I'm gonna drop a whole new a collection of hoodies, shirts. Anthony Richardson's guy, he's the one who dropped,
Okay.
one who did his stuff.
The AR-15 stuff, the weapon. Gotcha.
Yeah, I got something brewing up, but it's
Heck
pretty
yeah.
fun. So yeah, that's gonna be my next drop. Fans are gonna love that for sure. So
has it been because obviously, you know, now the NIL changes have been in place and you want to, you know, you focusing on the game. That's the most important thing right now. But you also get to navigate and start doing some entrepreneurial type stuff, branding yourself. What was that? Not the distracting, but like, what has been your experience in wanting to kind of get, like, has it been overwhelming? Have a lot of people been reaching out? Has it been like pretty easy to find people to help you get stuff going? Because
yeah,
I imagine, like, you know, people don't get it sometimes. Like college kids, they're not going to read a 10-page contract or something. Like, make it make sense. And like, how can I trust you that you actually have my, you know, my best interest in mind, that you're not just trying to get me to sign something and have me locked into something for 10 years and you make all the money. Because I mean, that stuff happens. But what has the experience been like for you?
it's been really cool actually, just having like the opportunity to work with companies. And like you said, obviously we have a busy schedule, but you gotta just manage your time. There's free time that I have time to figure out what deals I want to do. And I have an agent actually for NIL. So
Awesome.
I have an agent that strictly does all my NIL stuff, and I talk to him every single day. Like, there's not one day this year we haven't talked about certain. Like, just he helps me out with anything I need with that part, because I told him at the beginning of the year, like when all this stuff was going on, like I truthfully didn't want to have to deal with it all by myself. So
Right.
like my focus is basketball. Like that's what I love doing every day when I wake up. Like I'm thinking about it, obviously, but I have school also that takes up a good chunk of my time. And then all the other extracurricular stuff, as far as like traveling, stuff with the team, all that stuff that we have to do that takes up all of our time. So I was like, I really don't want to have to focus on it. So like, if you could just text me what I have updates on the week, what I need to do, what I don't need to do. So he'll just hit me up like, hey, what do you think about this deal? Like, it's X amount of money, X amount of posts, X amount of whatever. And then I'm just like, yeah, I like that, or nah, I don't really like that. Let's work on something else. So he helps me with literally anything. He's made it like so easy for me. His name is Mike Raymond, and he does a bunch of college athletes. He has guys in Auburn. He has guys on other teams like UCF, Miami, my team. So he has a lot of college athletes that he works with, and it's just NIL stuff, and he's just on it every single day. So he's helped out so much with that.
So will you do stuff with him when you go pro as well? Like,
Yeah,
I have no idea how that works.
Yeah, we haven't discussed that yet 100%. I would assume so, because like you need a manager to help you with like deals and stuff like that as well. But I haven't thought about that, so I really don't know. But I would assume.
Hey, that's a bridge that'll when it comes time for that, you'll figure it out then. But it's really awesome to have someone that you trust and that knows, and that makes it so much simpler for you, because like what I was just worried about for a lot of kids sometimes with this NIL stuff is like it will become a distraction from you being able to maximize your time as an athlete. Like if you do well on the court or in the field of play, whatever, guess what? Those opportunities and things to brand yourself, they're going to be there. It's just if the focus shifts to doing that stuff, and then it starts becoming a lack of performance because of that, then you're setting yourself back. But it seems like you do have a great grasp on it. So let's transition back to the season. You guys started off extremely well. Seemed like the defense of intensity was incredible. You at the paint blocking if you're not even blocking it, you're affecting so many shots, guys knocking down shots, turning, like, all these things. And then you guys hit a little bit of a hiccup. You go on the road, lose to a tough Oklahoma team, which actually just beat Texas Tech at home as well. They've got some really good wins at home. You know, it's difficult to win on the road for anybody. And then you got then Texas Southern game. You know, what was the mindset for you guys after you hit that little bit of a hurdle, especially, you know, after that game where it just seemed it was so uncharacteristic of like, hey, this happened, like how we got to learn from it and get better. How were you guys able to shift the mindset there so quickly?
Yeah, I think it just like attested to like what the coaches told us every day. Yeah, we obviously weren't supposed to lose those games. We still talk about it, think about it, obviously, because it can affect us in the long run. But we really just had team meetings, talked about what we were doing that we shouldn't have been doing. You know, there's games that we really should have won. And it was all on us, like as players. We just didn't do what we were supposed to. I think we just didn't have the right mindset going into certain games. And we definitely flipped that switch. Coach has done a really good job of telling us, you know, like, you don't have that much time left. Like a lot of you guys don't have much time left in college. And that's been our biggest like MO with everybody. It's like, don't take anything for granted. Like, it doesn't matter what the opponent is. Like, you just got to win. Like, we got to win a lot of games. And we got to finish the year out strong so we can play well in the SEC tournament and go to March Madness and do what we're supposed to do and keep playing the way we did in the beginning of the year. Because we started off really well. You know, we hit that road bump and then now we started to pick it back up. So just continuing that success and not worrying about the game before us or the game ahead of us, just worrying about what we're about to play. Like, it doesn't matter about anything else but this game that's coming up. So for us right now, it's Kentucky. Like, we're just focused on this game. Like, we don't care that we just beat Georgia or whatever win streak. Right. Like, I just focus on this game because if we don't, they're going to whoop us. So.
Yeah, that's the exact mindset. I think you guys have done a really good job of flipping the switch and just taking on whatever adversity comes your way. And speaking of adversity, first off, you guys had one of the toughest starts to SEC play ever. was pretty insane. You know, starting off 0-3 in conference play, was there like, and they're all close games, you know, Alabama, you guys had them for a little bit in that first half, and you know, Alabama being who they are, they just can heat up. If you can't keep them contained, if you can't make it hard on Jaden Shackelford, which he had 30 last night or the other night against Ole Miss, man, he's fun to watch. He's a premier guard in this league for sure. Then you got Auburn being who they are, tough team, and then LSU, who is now struggling. You know, they're not in the best place, but, you know, what was you guys, you know, starting off 0-3 in the SEC, was there any like concern? Was there any, like, I'm sure there was a meeting, you guys being able to get your minds refocused or something along those lines? Because that definitely is because Arkansas started 0-3 in conference play as well, but they didn't have nearly as tough of a start as you guys did.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, like I said, we just had meetings. We just talked about like what we needed to do to finish games out or win. Because all three of those games, like whoever watched those saw that we were right there neck and neck with all three teams. And it was just a couple things that they were able to just, you know, get away from that lead or just extend the lead out a little bit more, go on a certain run that just changed the game. And we just talked about like what we need to do to not let that happen. Because with teams, you know, you can't have any slip ups. You got to play your best game. You got to play your best basketball. And just do certain things to win the games. All over, taking bad shots. You know, we just fixed it. And I feel like guys are doing a lot better job now towards the end of the SEC season, and we're in a good spot. But we just got to continue things as well. You know, we're still not doing what we need to 100% of the time. So I think Coach White's still not happy with where we're at all. Like, he's still telling us, no, even though we're doing good things as far as winning, you know, we still got to do better in a lot of areas, you know. We're just continue to work on those things and then try to do well in the game.
Yeah, I think, you know, watching the game last night, it was sending Georgia, just, you know, little loose with the ball here and there, empty possessions, off giving up offensive rebounds, just not playing solid defensively, getting beat. And the good thing, you know, you guys do a great job of just so much pressure. But sometimes like that pressure, the aggressiveness leads to, you know, backdoor cuts and then being out of place for rebounds. But there's nothing not fixable, which is always positive, because you guys have shown how fantastic your defense can be, how engaging, how well you help, especially when you're at the basket. You know, you guys go on the road and beat South Carolina. And in between those games, I believe in between South Carolina and Mississippi State is when you injured your shoulder. You know, don't need to know like how it happened, but you know, when it initially happened, did you know that you were going to be out for an extended period of time?
You know, like right when it happened, it was the practice the day before the game. Met with the doctors, did everything we needed to do to figure out what was going on. And then they let me know the next day, the day of the game, that like, you know, I'd be out for some time. We didn't know how long it was going to be. We didn't know like how bad the injury was yet. And then we found out later on, you know, everything that was going on. But yeah, it was definitely rough because I didn't know what was going on. It was so like I barely slept that night at all. Like I probably got a couple hours, if that. Now, for those first couple of days, knowing I wasn't going to play for a little while definitely hurt, like, because I was just, dang, like, you know, we got that win. We got another win. And I'm like, all right, well, we're starting to turn it around. Like, we're starting to get to where we need to be. And I just wanted to help out. But, yeah, like, I definitely hurt the shoulder pretty bad. I needed to rehab it. And I was just doing everything I needed to get it back to where it is now.
Best in the business, Duke Warner. Best in the business.
Yeah. By far. He's definitely a great human being. Love being with him every day. Like, it made it so much easier because he's just a funny guy.
He's hilarious, man.
Yeah. It was cool. It went by way quicker than I thought I was going to, and then now I'm back hooping. But I'm not going to say my shoulder is 100% because it's definitely not. There's like I just tweaked it yesterday, but I just try to be a warrior, keep pushing through it. So,
what did you you know, you're going through that. You're showing, you know, and you know, me working with the SEC network, I was, you know, I think we talked to you a few times, and after your first game back, and we were all not joking, but like just seeing your energy and focusing. You weren't focusing on yourself, because anyone could be hurt or have adversity and just, you know, kind of while up there and just like, you know, but you're up on the sideline, you're cheering your guys on, you're cheering Jason on. As he was getting he had to fill in those spots for those minutes and was starting to play really, really well, hoping that he's going to be okay with his eye surgery he ended up having. But like, how were you able to snap? Because it's so easy to just focus on, for us as human beings, to focus on ourselves. Like, how were you able to stay a great teammate, cheering your guys on the side? And it's authentic. You know, everyone knows it's authentic coming from you, not faking it. Like, but what was it for you that got you to do that?
yeah, I think just being selfless, like knowing everything is bigger than yourself. Obviously, I could have been selfish, like, oh, I was playing well, like, you know, like I was doing everything I needed to do. We weren't winning, so like at the end of the day, I still wasn't happy. Like even though I was playing well, I was still not happy because we're not winning. But then the injury happened. Like, you know, you can be a victim with certain situations, or you can look at it as growth. Like I won't lie, the days I was definitely really down. Like I told you, I didn't sleep as much. Like I was just like, dang man, like why does that have to me right now? Like I was just like stressed out. But then I was like, you know what? Like sat on it for a day or two, and I'm like, just be positive. Like there's a reason, there's a bigger reason behind this. Like the man upstairs is doing something for you to help you learn, and you got to grow from it. And every obstacle comes with a good outcome. I believe, you know, not everybody believes that, but I believe an obstacle is for greater growth in the future. And I feel like this has helped me just learn that, you know, you can have basketball taken from you so quickly, because I've never had it taken from me, and I never had an opportunity to not play. Like in college, I've missed, before this injury, I missed 2 total games in my 4 years. Like that's rare. So, you know, you just learn like, all right, well, you got to keep moving, keep pushing on. And then those guys cheer for me every day while I'm playing. So why wouldn't I cheer for them? Like, you know, I got to help them out because they listen to me. They listen to what I say. They've told me like, you know, bro, you're the head of the snake. Like what you say goes most of the time. And you know, I try to tell them what I saw on the court, certain things I see, because you have a different perspective off the court. So like on the court, I obviously can see it really happening live, but off the court, I can really dissect like, hey, Tune, like you're only playing 8 minutes, but make sure you do this, this, and this, because those 8 minutes are critical for us right now.
Man, can you help my man Tune gain some weight, man? I'm telling, bro, he jumped, but he's low. He's so springy and long, but he just gets pushed. So if he can get some weight on him, I'm not even talking about a lot. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be so good.
I've talked to him all the time. Like you're gonna be really good, bro. Just stay the course. Don't let nothing negative get in the way. Because if he does the right things, You'll hear his name be called a lot in the next couple of years if he does.
I think his ability, like, he's going to be a great pick and roll guy, above the rim, blocking shot, running the floor, just coming out of. He's going to make it. He's going to be havoc
Yeah.
defensively for other teams, and offensively, he's going to be really hard to guard in the pick and roll. But speaking of your teammates, so after that, you miss you're out after the game before Mississippi State. That's the 19th. See your guys win, those first two games against Mississippi State and against Vandy. Then the team, has a tough one on the road against Ole Miss, that was a tough stretch anyways, to have 5 games in 11 days, having that makeup game. But what I love about it for the guys is that other guys had to step. Coach White, even the challenge for Coach White, Coach White had to kind of change the offense around a little bit and help guys and put them in places so they could be successful. How about the way Kawasi is playing? He's been sensational. Tyree's been Philander's. It seems like his confidence has gone up to another level. And now MJ, the way he's shooting, like MJ shooting the ball like that, bro. Goodness gracious.
It's a perfect time to start clicking. And if we do all the right things, then like we'll be able to get like to where we want to go. So if they just all got to click at the right time, and I feel like this is the perfect time of the year. Like all the coaches told us, like February is the time where you want the right things to click. So they're all clicking, and you'll be fine. So that's just what we're focused on.
Yeah, I believe so, and I think that believe it or not, your presence of being out, or the lack thereof, has forced other guys to step up and fill those minutes and whatever. You had DeRougie playing the 5 against Missouri, and he not that he can't, but it helps to build and create opportunities. So when you fill back into that lineup, it's not as big as a learning curve for like a Kawasi that or Niles that had. Hey, how about that dunk he had down the middle? It was nice last night, but. And I think for you guys now that getting back to the core of the defense, but like you especially, like the game is so noticeable when you're back in the game, because you feel the stats in like not padding them, but you rebound, you block shots, you finish. When you get double teamed, you get the ball out, you screen well. Are you just aware of like how much you bring to the table night in and night out for the team, and how much you affect? Especially right now, where you guys are in that bubble watch. It's been last 4 in, it's been first 4 out. Do you put like more pressure on yourself, or you just going out there and just doing what you do?
I think I definitely my second game back, so I don't try to put pressure on myself, but I obviously know where we are as a team, and like if it's a lot of guys last year's, I know like where we want to go, and like that's to play in the tournament. So we got to win as much games as possible. And I feel like I carry a lot of the load as far as the little things that we do to win. And I'm going to bring that every night, regardless of who's guarding me, the team we're playing. Like, you got to come out with wins, and that's the biggest thing. So if everybody just focuses on their role and what they need to do to help us win, like everybody's going to shine. Everybody's going to have opportunity to do what they want to do, whatever that may be. But I feel like I don't really try to think about it. I just try to hoop and just do all the things the coaches tell me to do every night.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys got Kentucky coming up here on Saturday. The following Saturday, you guys have Auburn at home. Is there, going into the season, were there any kind of, because I never really focused on it. Actually, when I was being in the league so long, I always kind of looked at those games against Tennessee when Jarnell Stokes was there, and Jerome Mayman. Like, I was really ready for those matchups. And when Festus Ezeli was at Vanderbilt, and whoever was at Kentucky at that time, like, I couldn't wait for those games. Are you really like? And you guys got Kentucky twice. You got them on the road, and then you got them at home last game of the season. Are you really looking forward to those matchups with those tops? And you got Arkansas, another team that's playing really well right now. Are you looking forward to those matchups?
Yeah, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to go. I just want to hoop, get ready to play those teams. obviously really good programs, really good teams. They got a lot of good players, but I feel like we're doing what we need to do. Everybody got to stay locked in because, like I said, it's hard to win on the road in this league. And if we do what we're supposed to, we can come out and win. But if we don't go there with the right mindset, then it can get bad real quick. So just like any team, any home environment that's is hard to play at. So, but yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. We're doing everything we need to. So I'm confident in what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I think you're going to be you and Walker Kessler are probably some of the best matchups for Oscar Tshiebwe that's playing at such a high clip just with your size and strength. But with this Kentucky, it's key to pressure them. It's key to speed because they already play fast and they're going to be at home. But I look at a game like when Texas A&M played Kentucky earlier this season, and yeah, Kentucky didn't have a great shooting night, but the ball pressure that Texas A&M put on everywhere, they weren't able to get the ball into Oscar because it was high hands, denials, not allowing guys to just easily come into ball screens and without fouling. And it's definitely gonna take a lot of that. But someone asked this question the other day. Do you guys, being where you guys are with these last we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left. Do you actually quad watch? Do you actually like even pay attention to like the Joe Lunardi stuff, or are you just like, hey, we control what we control, and let's just do what we got to do. If we win, we're good.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody really cares about that. We don't really like focus on it because it changes every game. So
yeah,
I know a lot of people tell me like, oh, you guys are this, you guys are that. I'm like, bro, I really don't care because you win a game, it'll change. You lose a game, it'll change. So it's all projection, like where you may be. But if you just do what you're supposed to, you'll get to where you want to go, which is the tournament. And I feel like that's just my mindset. Hopefully that's everybody else's mindset. And I feel like nobody really worries about that. That's all Coach White tells us. Like, don't worry about what everybody else is talking about, like all the outside noise and attention that people give you, because all the people that are there for you can also not be there for you just as quick as they're there for you. You just got a lot to focus on what you need to do to win. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, just focus on the next step and staying in the moment. What's been your favorite part about just being in, what possibly is your last year at Florida, just like embracing that senior year? What's been your favorite part about, from the school, from the just being a student athlete? Has it felt different at all being a senior?
Yeah, a little bit. I think like because you just know like there's an ending to it, so you gotta kind of just enjoy all the little moments, like all the off days, all free time you have. You don't really have as much time as possible because there is an end soon. So personally, for me, it's gone by so fast. Like this year is literally just like I blinked and we're already in February, gonna go to March soon. It's just going by really quick. But just focusing on basketball is the biggest thing that I've done. Like just trying to do as best as possible. And as a team, I just want us to go as far as we can because, it's like I said, it's a lot of guys last year. So you want to go out with a bang and do it as much as we can. I feel like we have the opportunity to, but we just got to keep doing what we're doing. But personally, for me, just enjoying everything, like all the little stuff that I wasn't able to last year with COVID.
Yeah. Well, hey, yeah, speaking of talking about not being able to have fans last year, what was it like, whether going on the road or, we shout out to the Rowdies first, because this is the podcast that is in part the name due to the Rowdy Reptiles. What was it like, man? That place gets rocking when you guys are doing the thing out there. Like, what did it mean for you to see, like, first not having the fans and then realize that, dang, like it is just it is amazing having them back in the arena.
It was weird last year for sure because like I'm definitely like a super energetic guy, like getting the fans involved and stuff. So last year that wasn't really there, so it was kind of you got to just build your own energy, like with the team, within yourself. And then like this year, like they love like when I hype them up or like other teammates hype them up, and like that's just what I love doing, like being able to get them involved. Because if I was a student, I went to school and I just went to a game and didn't say anything or was just there bored, like personally, I'm just like, why are you there? Like, what's the point? What's your point of being at the game? So like that's how I am as a person, even like without basketball. If I was just a student or like if I go to another sporting event, like I try to be as engaged as possible and cheer them on because I know as a player that helps. It gives the team confidence. And all the teams in the country that have the like really good home environments, all the players feed off that energy. So I feel like just being able to just have those fans there definitely helps us a lot, because they can get really loud at times, and we definitely need them the rest of the year too. We got a couple big home games, so we're definitely gonna need them the rest of the way.
Yeah, I got that Saturday, March 5th, having Kentucky at home for senior night. It's a great game. It's a great game, but there's, we're not worried about that right now. We're about this upcoming Saturday, going on the road to Rupp. But is there, before I let you go, is there anything else that you want to leave the fans with? Because for everyone that's gotten a chance to see you, you're obviously going to be missed. But on to bigger. I mean, this is life. Chapters in life end and go on. But I think everyone loves getting a chance to see you out there, and you're the heart and soul. Just playing with you. It's not even about being the heart and soul of the team, but you are just. It seems like you are just fully yourself, and without anybody else telling, pushing you in one. Like, you just go in there and you just wear your emotions on the sleeve. Like, the fans see that, they appreciate that. I see that, appreciate that. That is a culmination of what it means to be a Florida Gator. It's not always about the wins and losses. Of course, fans want to see you win all the time. That's sports. But more than anything, they want to see you playing out there and loving it and love being a Gator. So is there anything else that you want to leave the fans on here with before I let you go?
No, nothing really in particular. Just excited for the rest of the season. Like, just got to get to March Madness. That's the big picture. But like I said, taking it one game at a time, and not to worry, because I'm gonna keep pushing through this minor injury that I had. So I'm gonna keep fighting through it, and just ready to finish the year out strong on a good
Absolutely.
note.
Colin, man, it is a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure getting a chance to connect with you. I'm telling you, the fans, I mean, you don't have to say words, man. The fans just know that you're going out there and giving it your all. And they, everyone is so grateful that you're repping the orange and blue in the way you do, and just the guy you are. Don't let anyone change that, because whatever level, wherever you are next year, come this time, continue to have that mindset, continue to stay humble. Because it's gonna take you a long way anywhere in life, whether it's basketball for the next 15 years or whatever else you want to end up doing. Humility and hard work is never out of fashion.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Definitely coming from like you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the one and only big man in the paint, Colin Castleton. This is his 21st episode of the Young the Rowdies in season 2. Can't wait for this upcoming game. As you already know, the Rowdies. You know what? You know how we end this thing. Stay rowdy.